So I decided to do a rewatch of Legion, and I just finished episode 1, and I'm still mind blown by this, but I watched the full season, so I know kind of what to look for in terms of any of the foreshadowing, and let me just say that this entire little review thing is going to be chock full of spoilers, so let's hope you watched all the episodes. So first things first, I have to comment on the color scheme. There's a lot of vibrant colors. There's a lot of reds, a lot of yellows, a lot of oranges. And that goes with Clockworks in that there is a lot of those colors, about the yellow, about the red, about the orange. That aside, as the episode began, I started to think about whether or not Lenny was real. Thinking that this character was just a figment of David's imagination. But as you know, you later find out, it's Lenny or Benny. It's Benny. It's not Lenny. He's just projecting it as Lenny. So the person is real. And as the episode progressed, so you had, Lenny in these specific spots talking to David. David almost talking to himself, except Sid could see Lenny. I don't know that anybody else could see Lenny because of where she was located into David. Someone else was just next to her. So they could be looking at that person. So I'm not 100% convinced that Lenny's real. Although that definitely took a turn when Lenny is now in the wall and she's dead. Whereas obviously David, as Sid, saw her there, and so did the doctor guy. So that, nixed out the window. And then, so when David is in the room with the Eye and the other guy who I can't remember, the human guy who gets jabbed in the throat with a pen, in the face with a pen, that the Eye sets down a dog. Foreshadowing, hello, okay, fine. It goes from David looking at the dog to memories of him with King, their beagle. That's together, sure, but okay, sure, that totally makes sense. Foreshadowing, hello. Also, I just have to comment on how when David is running away from Pototomy and Carrie, that Carrie has two different boots, leggings, stockings, knee highs, whatever they are. They're two different colors, and it kind of bugs me, but it's a very quick scene, so it goes by really fast. But it's just something I noticed. It's like, why are there two different colors? And whatever. And also, it's really weird seeing her dressed up. Like, obviously they have to blend in. She can't look like a psycho killer quite yet. Totally get that. But the fact that she's almost in like a businesswoman suit, come on now. She looks a lot older just in that scene than she does for the rest of the season. Kind of bugs me a little. So, anyway, let's see, what else? After the rewatch, still mind blown. I know what's coming, so it's obviously not that much of a surprise, but it is kind of interesting how all these different scenes play out in the first episode and then reoccur later on. You have, the yellow-eyed monster. You have all of Lenny. I love Lenny. You have, all these different things. So there's that. Also, I have to mention that when they're leaving the government facility and some guy is telling them, come on, we have to go, and he has like these powers of like, hey, I'm gonna, point at you and you're gonna fly away kind of thing. I didn't know who he was at first because I see him later on in the episodes, and like I think it's either chapter 7, I don't think it's chapter 8, I think it's chapter 7, that he's sitting in the wheelchair and he's drooling, And as the characters, are running around and they pick him, they take him in the wheelchair and they push him around. I'm like, why? Who is this guy? What makes him important? You never see him again. And then all of a sudden they decide to, oh yeah, sure, this is us, acting normal. We're going to push him through. I now understand. He was part of the team. Whoa, super smart. Also, my coworker had brought up, originally, what is with the guy in the bushes in the first episode during the dance scene? He shows up like 3 or 4 times in this entire episode of episode 1. He's in the bushes, and of course, one of the voiceovers or something says like, oh, we're all crazy, or full of crazy people, or I don't know what the line is exactly, but it kind of pans to him in the bushes, just chilling there, like, I'm a crazy person, I'm gonna be in the bushes, and then to something else. So clearly, crazy people hide in bushes. You never see him again, as far as I know. That could change if I do this again as a rewatch and I make note of all these different things. But as far as I know, you don't see him again. And he's just in episode 1. So maybe it's one of those weird kooky things that kind of stuck, that they just kind of wanted to play with or whatever. Let's see, what else? I think that's about it in terms of just the general stuff of what I already know watching the whole season and then a rewatch. There's just a lot of, the color scheme is very vibrant and keeps my attention, and you see the reds, mostly with the reds and maybe the deep oranges when David is having his episodes for the yellow-eyed monster. So I don't know, just something I noticed, whether or not that was intentional or not. So that's that, and hopefully more of the rewatch I can again piece all the things together and maybe pick up on stuff that I didn't first watch through, which is obviously the point of a rewatch. And that's it. So there we go.